Hello, everyone. I'm Terry Leonino, and we're here today to do a Labor Day special concert.
So thank you for joining us. I'm Greg Artsner, and we're going to sing a bunch of songs here today that all deal with the working people of this country and other countries. Terry and I are members of two unions. We're members of the American Federation of Musicians, AFM Local 1000, and we're also proud members of the Industrial Workers of the World, the IWW. And we want to send a shout out to all of our union sisters and brothers all around the country.
So, before we start, I just want to say these few words from one of our sheroes in the labor movement, and Greg will identify who it is. See if you can guess who it is. Every moment is an organizing opportunity. Every person, a potential activist, and every minute, a chance to change the world.
Of course, those words were said by Dolores Huerta, and it's a good way to start. So we're going to start with a song that we wrote that was inspired by our dear friend, late Pete Seeger, and he was talking about all the songs that he sang, and he never liked the term folk music, folk songs. So somebody said, well, what do you call them? And he said, well, I call them all love songs. I call them all love songs, 'cause that is what they are. Although the road be smooth or rough, love for this crazy world and all humanity, still we know love alone is not enough. It's about the workers in solidarity and about their singing on the line. A song about their dream to make a better world. Like a beacon through the night, we let it shine. A hope for the planet, the home that we all share, that we may strive to heal the damage we have done. A lament about the wrong of war and standing to defy. It's a song about the peace that we have won. I call them all love songs, 'cause that is what they are. Love though the road be smooth or rough. Love for this crazy world and all humanity. Still we know love alone is not enough. It's the struggle of poor people just fighting to get by, and the greedy who take more than their share. A song about the ones who help to feed body and mind of their brothers and their sisters anywhere. A song about walking, not just talking as we go, remembering the good things that we do. A song about standing with and for each other now, for we know love is not enough to see us through. I call them all love songs, 'cause that is what they are. Love though the road be smooth or rough. Love for this crazy world and all humanity. Still we know love alone is not enough. It's about searching for the truth, and about the things that are unknown. A song about freedom and the struggle that goes on. The story of the country you call home. A song about the river ever flowing to the sea, from on the mountains in the north forever tall. A dream of clear water and the wind that fills her sails. It's a song about a song about us all. I call them all love songs, 'cause that is what they are. Love, though the road be smooth or rough. Love for this crazy world and all humanity. Still we know love alone is not enough. We know love alone is not enough.
Well, we're going to do some songs that out of labor history, and one of the greatest songwriters whose songs have been traveling around the world for 100 years, more than 100 years now, was the songwriter Joe Hill, and we're going to do one of his songs now.
Right, and this is a song about the rebel girl, and I know there's a lot of you out there, so keep it up. Make that good trouble. And, you know, her name was Elizabeth Gurley Flynn. But she was a friend to lots of other women activists of that time. Mother Jones said this: I asked a man in prison once how he happened to be there. And he said he had stolen a pair of shoes. I told him if he had stolen a railroad, he would be a United States senator.
I guess you could say that Mary Harris Jones was a rebel girl too. She was a rebel woman. So anyway, Joe Hill wrote this song in prison awaiting execution, and he didn't have the benefit of a musical instrument to which he could refer, but he was an accomplished musician and understood exactly what it was he was writing. He wrote a ragtime march. And this is the original song. Original words too. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
There are women of many descriptions in this queer world, as everyone knows. Some are living in beautiful mansions, some are wearing the finest of clothes. There are blue-blooded queens and princesses who have charms made of diamonds and pearls, but the only and thoroughbred lady is the rebel girl. That's the rebel girl. That's the rebel girl. To the working class, she's a precious girl. She brings courage, pride, and joy to the fighting rebel boy. We've had girls before, but we need some more in the industrial workers of the world. For it's great to fight for freedom with a rebel girl. Let's do that lick again. Though her hands may be hardened from labor, and her dress may not be very fine, there's a heart in her bosom that's beating. She is true to her class and the kind, and the rafters in terror are trembling when her smite and defiance she'll hurl. For the only and thoroughbred lady is the rebel girl. That's the rebel girl. That's the rebel girl. To the working class, she's a precious girl who brings courage, pride, and joy to the fighting rebel boy. We've had girls before, but we
rebel girl. Well, now we're going to do one that we wrote a few years ago, and
Greg, you know, this is
dedicated to Eugene Victor Debs.
this is probably a really good time while I get my guitar for you to read that quote from Debs. I'll even hand it to you.
Thank you.
Here you go.
All right. Well, you know, there's been some talk lately about billionaires in this country. Back in the day of Eugene Victor Debs, it was millionaires, but billionaires now. There are a few of them in this country now. They own more than half of the wealth. Eugene Debs thought that wasn't a very good idea, and he said, "I am opposing a social order in which it is possible for one man who does absolutely nothing that is useful to amass a fortune of hundreds of millions of dollars, while millions of men and women who work all the days of their lives secure barely enough for a wretched existence." And I think that there are a few people who might fall into that description. Of course, we're talking there about billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. The richest man in the world the other day was in fact declared to be Jeff Bezos. Now, we're going to do a song that we wrote based on a famous incident in American history, June the 16th of 1918, when Eugene Victor Debs came to my hometown of Canton, Ohio, and delivered a speech in Nemesilla Park in the bandstand there. And so if you are interested in reading the speech, all 25 pages of it, I posted it on my Facebook page on Friday, and you can scroll down and find that link and go and read the entire speech.
And of course, it was sent to us by our fellow workers, Greg Giorgio and Tom Costello. Thank you for reminding us so we could put that up.
So this is a song that's, the gist of the song is, there were 1,000 or so socialists in the park that day listening to Eugene Victor Debs extemporaneously go on for 2 hours.
Kind of like you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Except for, Greg, are you in the right capo position?
I think I am,
Because I need to make sure that we're in tune before we start.
Capo 1D.
I'm the one that's in the Imagine my embarrassment. So let's stop talking and play the beautiful song.
So the song is, there's this young man, and he's standing in the audience. He's always heard about Eugene V. Debs, but this is the first time he got to hear him speak. And so he's a little on the excited side.
Can you give me an A? I mean, whatever that would be.
It's your D chord.
Just want to make sure I'm tuned for you folks. Okay, I hope you enjoy the song.
Okay, it's called Canton, 1918. Back in 1918, on a sunny day in June, 1,000 of us gathered that hopeful afternoon. Nemesilla Park between the railroad and the creek, to see Eugene Victor Debs and to hear him speak. He came down to Canton to talk and take a stand for peace and justice for the working class throughout the land. Now forever I'll remember, wherever I may roam, the prescient words that Gene Debs spoke in my Ohio home. Debs had run for president, it was him I voted for. And now I heard he was coming here with a cry against the war, when so many in our country were still itching for that fight. He was a solitary beacon in a stormy night. He'd come to see our comrades in the workhouse locked away, but they would not feed the war machine, their consciences betray. From the Junkers to the robber barons, money's what it's for. Poor workers were day dying in a rich man's war. He said there are better days ahead if to ourselves we're true,
and we'll all rise in common cause, rebuild this world anew. If we just work together, stand for what is right, make this great cause triumphant, all the working class unite. He stood there, bone and sinew, with a fire in his eyes, and a voice full of passion, from a heart so true and wise. With courage unrelenting, his words defied their power, even though no doubt he knew the danger of the hour. He said 1,000 times I'd rather be a free soul in jail than a coward in the streets, a sycophant for sale. So I stood enthralled there that fateful summer day. That man changed my life with every word he had to say. He said there are better days ahead if to ourselves we're true, and we'll all rise in common cause, rebuild this world anew. If we just work together, stand for what is right, make this great cause triumphant, all the working class unite. They hauled him off to jail, sedition so they said. A dangerous man like Debs just has to be stopped dead. He said, I ask no mercy, plead for no immunity. For now I see the rising of those who would be free. I clearly see the struggle now between our human need and the wicked powers of exploitation and of greed. But the cross of stars is bending as we pass through the night, and the people waken joyful in the hope of morning light. He said there are better days ahead if to ourselves we're true, and we'll all rise in common cause, rebuild this world anew. If we just work together, stand for what is right, make this great cause triumphant, all the working class unite. He said there are better days ahead if to ourselves we're true, and we'll all rise in common cause, rebuild this world anew. If we just work together, stand for what is right, make this great cause triumphant, all the working class unite.
Wow, listen to those stifle guitars ring. Hey, Gene, we got them out tonight. The sisters, look at this. Yes, these were made by our dear, dear friend and luthier, Larry Seifel.
Who passed away several long years ago.
But he was working class like the rest of us.
He certainly was a fan of Debs and Joe Hill and the two guys we're going to sing about next.
Since it's about a couple of immigrants that are from my culture of the Italians, I would like to dedicate this to my grandfather, the shoemaker, and my grandfather, the grocer, Lazaro the grocer, and John the shoemaker. Sacco and Vanzetti's story is long, so we don't really want to tell it. All we want to say is that this song was put together by Pete Seeger after reading the actual letter that was written by Sacco to his son.
Yeah, Nicola Sacco. The night before their execution in 1927, Nicola Sacco wrote one last letter to his son Dante, and these are the words of the letter, almost completely unchanged, just set to a beautiful tune by Pete Seeger. And
What a perfect place to be doing this song, and I think you'll see later when we sing the lyrics why I said that.
Oh, by the way, we're doing this outdoors, and we're not that far from the road, so every now and then in between when we're talking, you might actually hear a vehicle go up the road.
So we'll wait for that
There
vehicle
you
to
go.
pass.
There goes one.
Goodbye. It's going up the mountain, away from us.
It doesn't happen that often, but every now and then it does.
But it is a holiday weekend. Okay, let's get this beautiful song out there for those folks.
Sako's letter to his son.
Maybe we should check our tunings together now. Okay, we're good.
If nothing happens, they will electrocute us right after midnight. Therefore here I am, right with you, with love and with open heart, as I was yesterday. Don't cry, Dante, for many, many tears have been wasted, as your mother's tears have been already wasted for 7 years and never did any good. So son, instead of crying, be strong, be brave, so as to be able to comfort your mother. And when you want to distract her from the discouraging soulness, you take her for a long walk in the quiet countryside, gathering flowers here and there, and resting under the shade of trees beside the music of the waters, the peacefulness of nature. She will enjoy it very much, and you will surely too. But son, you must remember, don't use all yourself, but down yourself just one step to help the weak ones at your side. The weaker ones that cry for help, the persecuted and the victim, they are your friends, friends of yours and mine. They are the comrades that fight, yes, and sometimes fall, just as your father and Bartolo have fought and fell yesterday for the conquest of joy, of freedom for all. In the struggle of life you'll find more love, and in the struggle you will be loved also.
So if you want to know more about the story of Sacco and Vanzetti, I certainly encourage you to look it up. There's certainly a lot of information there, some documentary films.
I don't know.
It's an amazing story.
I don't know why I took my medal off, because these two songs from our heroes, Pete Seeger, and the next one from Woody Guthrie, is really a really great song.
Yeah, you're going to need to get your harmonica rack on for this now. Let me retune just a little. I've been doing this little ditty from Woody Guthrie since I was about 12 years old, I think.
I just love it. It's really about the meanest person that you could even think of. And of course, this was written during the time where Woody had a landlord, and I won't even say his name, but...
Well, his first name was Fred.
Right, and he was the elder of Agent Orange, or the COVID idiot, who I'm sure most of you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, wait a minute now, don't get too...
Okay, imagine, I should not have said that, but it's really a wonderful piece, and I think you'll enjoy it. It's a classic.
Yes, Fred Trump was Woody... You didn't say it, but I can. Was, in fact, Woody Guthrie's landlord when he lived in Coney Island. This is not his ode to Fred Trump, but
it may well be.
But Woody lived in New York City for a while, and he wrote this song while he lived in New York City, and there was no question about who he was talking about now the song takes on a whole new meaning now. It's a talking blues, so it's sort of like the hillbilly grandfather of hip hop or rap music. That's the way I like to think of it anyway. It's called Mean Talkin'.
Mean Talking Blues.
That G's right on.
While he's still tuning, I'll tell you that Shirley Chisholm said, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair.
I love that quote. Okay, here we go.
I'm the meanest man that ever had a brain. All I scatter is aches and pains. I'm carbolic acid and a poison face, and I stand flat-footed in favor of crime and disgrace. If I ever done a good deed, I'm sorry of it. I am mean in the east and I'm mean in the west, and I'm mean to the people that I like the best. I go around causing a lot of accidents, and I put folks down, and I cause train wrecks. I'm a big disaster, just going somewheres to happen. I'm an organized famine, just studying how I can be a little bit meaner. Still, I'm a whole lot too good to suit myself. Just me. Now I ride around on subway trains, laughing at the tight shoes dealing you pain. I laugh when the car shakes from side to side, and I laugh my loudest when other people cry. I can't help it. I was born good, I guess, just like you or anybody else. Then I just turned off me. Oh, I hate everybody don't think like me, and I'd rather see it dead than to ever see it free. I'd rather see it starve to death than to see it work. I'm reading all the books I can to learn how to hurt, heal your misery, spread diseases, keep you without no vote, keep you without no union. Well, I hurt when I see you getting along so well. I'd 10 times rather see you in the fires of hell. I can't stand to see you all fixed up in that house so nice. I'd rather keep you down in that rotten hole with the bugs and the lice. The bugs and the lice.
And the lies.
And the tater bugs, and the stingeries, and the roaches, and the tarantulas, and the spiders, and the ticks, and the blowflies, and the midges.
These is all my little angels going around doing the best parts of my meanness. And my skeeters. Well, I used to be a fairly nice feller until I turned a scab and then I turned off yeller. I fought every union tooth and toenail, and then I sprouted a 6-inch stinger right in the middle of my tail. And I growed horns, then I cut them off. I wanted to fool you. I hated union everywhere, 'cause God likes union. And I hate God. Hate and the lean, that'll tickle me more than anything I've seen. Then get the colors to fighting one another, friend against friend, and brother and sister against brother. That'll be just fit. Everybody's brains boiling in turpentine, and their teeth falling out all up and down the street. That'll just suit me fine. Because I hate everything that's union, and I hate everything that's organized, and I hate everything that's planned. And I love to hate. And I hate to love. I'm mean. I'm just mean.
Well, that was fun. Well, you know, there's always so many incredible great leaders, and of course Mother Jones was one of them. We often forget the women, and forget to mention them at least. They were always there. And this next song was one we learned from Ronnie Gilbert when she was doing a one-woman show called American Agitator, all about Mother Jones, quoting her and becoming her for you and me and so many that were so fortunate to see it. She was brilliant. And she told this incredible story with music that she also had a friend to help write.
Jeff Langley wrote the music for this. The show, the American Agitator, that she wrote, and she and Jeff wrote, was premiered at the 8th Step in Albany. And send a shout out to our friends in the Capital District over here. And we loved Ronnie. She was a force of nature, and when we heard this song, we thought, you know, this song brought us to tears. And when a song brings you to tears, you know, well, that's some power. And we decided that must be the best damn Union song ever written. It's called "Build High the Bridge," and we encourage you to sing all the choruses we're singing, but sing this chorus, learn this song, sing this song, because Ronnie's gone from us, and if people
we miss her.
If people don't sing this song, it's just not gonna survive. So here it is. Do you wonder at the life that you are living? And do you ask, why must it be this way? Have you sat down with your neighbor who labors at your side and dared to speak of a new and brighter day? Are your children ignorant and hungry? And can you stand it? Oh, tell me how you can. How long will you wait to take what's rightly yours, to change your fate? Every woman, every man, build high the bridge from span to span. Look up, fellow workers, the moment's now at hand. Join your comrades on the
there's a place for one and all. Were you born a native to this country? Or were you born somewhere in foreign parts? What happened to the promise that brought you across the sea with the flame of freedom burning in your heart? It was dignity and hope they said you'd find here if you would join in the building of this land. But the barons of old, like the barons of old, keep you poor and chained like serfs at their command. But build high the bridge from span to span. Look up, fellow workers, the moment's now at hand. Join your comrades on the line and don't let them fall. For in union there is strength for one and all. Whose strong hands dig the black gold from the mountain? Who tills the soil, runs the foundry and the mill? Don't you know, my friends, you've just to stand your ground and fold your arms, and the whole wide world stands still. Build high the bridge from span to span. Look up, fellow workers, the moment's now at hand. Join your comrades on the line and don't let them fall. For in union there's a place for all. Yes, in union there is strength for all. Build a union with hope for one and all.
Mother Jones.
Ronnie Gilbert song. So, back in 1984, we were attending a convention, a gathering of musicians, songwriters, who perform a lot of political music, topical music, to support political causes. The organization had two names. In fact, it was two organizations that came together. It was called the People's Music Network for Songs of Freedom and Struggle. And PMN is still going strong. They're doing music this weekend. And
Some of our best and wonderful labor singers, Bev Grant, Charlie King, George Mann, many people will be singing wonderful labor songs.
So back in '84, when we attended this conference in Philadelphia, we sat in on a song swap of songs about working people, and this song was sung by a couple of women who became friends of ours. We met them that day. They were from the Akron, Ohio area,
where I was born. And so this song really spoke
Gail
to us.
Gingrich and Valerie DePriest and their sisters. And
the song really spoke to us, being kids from steel towns and rubber towns.
When we heard the song, we said to them afterwards, you know, that song belongs in the Little Red Songbook. And I'm not sure that it didn't make it into one of the later editions of the songbook.
It might have.
It certainly should be in there.
It's important tune, sweetie. All right.
And it's this song is as relevant as this morning's headlines, even though it came out of the mid-1980s when the factories were closing down and breaking up unions, busting unions by moving factories into other parts of the country where there were no unions, and into other countries. And that's, of course, the gist of this song. It's called Borderlines. Ready?
I'm hearing how business is tough in America, and they say the union's out of hand. But I read in the news today about the latest threat to my pay. There's one thing I must understand, for they're telling us that they could not afford our wage, as they turn their greedy eyes on distant shores.
As patrols guard the borderlines, and I'm standing in a picket line, the corporate boardroom plans are formed to move my plant to Ecuador, where for 50 cents a day the worker slaves her life away, and then they tell me she's my enemy.
First I did not have the time to trouble myself with the words, and it all seemed so very far away. But now I'm in a worried mood. These hands need work, kids need food. I just got laid off today. They're telling us that it is just good business, as foreign sweat swells profits like disease.
As patrols guard the borderlines, and I'm standing in an unemployment line, while in the Philippines my mind grows numb from sewing seams. In Guatemalan hills of cash, a coffee picker's skull is smashed, and then they tell me he's my enemy.
Now I am finally putting it all together. Borderlines won't score my loyalty, but they don't care who is the drone, the hands in yellow, black or brown. Profit is their only deity. As corporate hands of power reach around the world, they'll strangle any weak neck they can find.
From the diamond mines in Africa to the fields of El Salvador, from the sweatshops down in Mexico to the wired cages where our children go. Sweat is sweat and blood is blood, and one day soon the time must come. We'll stand and face our common enemy.
Sweat is sweat and blood is blood,
And one day soon the time must come. We'll stand and face our common enemy.
Thank you, fellow workers.
So here's a song that we recorded on the album that we did a few years ago. It was written by our friend Tish Inohosa, and
And we should tell you, actually, a lot of the songs you're hearing today are on that album. It's called When We Stand Together. And it's Joe Hill, IWW, and songs of yesterday as well as today. So we hope you'll go to our donation box and maybe even order the CD. I think you'll like it. There's an incredible amount of information that Greg and I researched and is up on our website if you want to hear deeper and more interesting stories.
let me just
Yeah, I have to fine tune here.
okay.
Why don't you read another one of those wonderful quotes while I do?
Well, you know, it's an interesting thing. Terry was reading that one from Shirley Chisholm earlier, and I came across one from A. Philip Randolph that basically said, at the banquet table of nature, there are no reserved seats. You get what you can take and you keep what you can hold. And if you can't take anything, you won't get anything. And if you can't hold anything, you won't keep anything. And you can't take anything without organization.
And you know, that's a really good time to actually mention the environment as an incredible crisis, as well as all these other crises we're undergoing, that we need to pay attention to. And you know, if we stand together, when we stand together, we will be able to hopefully make some progress in these areas of need.
You know, I'd like to read this one too, because this one is very, very poignant for what's going on right now. The day before he was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee, you know, the Martin Luther King's full speech that night had some amazing things in it that you don't get to hear. You always get to hear the mountaintop section of the speech, but in the speech he also said, "In our glorious fight for civil rights, we must guard against being fooled by false slogans such as right to work. It is a law to rob us of our civil rights and job rights. It is supported by Southern segregationists who are trying to keep us from achieving our civil rights and our right of equal job opportunity. Its purpose is to destroy labor unions and the freedom of collective bargaining by which unions have improved wages and working conditions of everyone. Wherever these laws have been passed, wages are lower, job opportunities are fewer, and there are no civil rights. We do not intend to let them do this to us. We demand this fraud be stopped." Martin Luther King Jr. And this song actually is connected to that in that it describes very poignantly one family's experience of dealing with those kinds of working conditions. It's called "Something in the Rain."
Mom and Dad have worked the fields. I don't know how many years. I'm just a boy, but I know how. I go to school when work is slow. We have seen our country's roads, Bakersfield to Illinois. When troubles come our way, oh yeah, I can hear my daddy pray. There's something wrong with little sister. I hear her crying by my side. Mom is shaking when she holds her. I try to hold her through the night. Mom says, "Close your eyes, mijito. Dream of someplace far from here, like the pictures in your school book. Someday you can take us there. There must be something in the rain. I'm not sure just what that means. Abuelita talks of sins of man, of dust that's in our hands. There must be something in the rain. No one else could cause this pain. Those airplanes cure the plants so things can grow. Oh no, there must be something in the rain. I understand about our life, about our land. We'll talk is talk and dream is dream, and I will find a place between. I'm afraid, but I believe that we can change these hurting fields. 'Cause there's something in the rain, but there's more here in our hands. For he does right about the sins of man, whose prophets rape the land, and the rains are pouring down from the growers to the town. And until we break these killing chains, there's something in the rain. And until we break these killing chains, there's something in the rain. That's for all our farmers out there who feed us all the time, and for all of our essential workers and the
who are
farm workers
harvesting
who
the food and bringing
harvest
it
our
to
food
us.
this time of year, actually.
So there's a couple more songs, a few more songs, I think, and we're gonna do one now that this was written by our friend Betsy Rose, lives out in California. Thank you, Betsy, for this great song.
Where's the set list?
It's right
Oh,
over
there
here.
it is. So, Gregory, I need it over here so I can see what's going on next.
There you go.
We just know too many songs, but that's not a bad thing.
It's amazing to us how these songs, from 20, 30 years ago, or more, are still relevant. Maybe one day. We're working for the good times to come. We're not waiting, we're working. Okay?
Thank you, Utah Phillips.
Thank you, Utah Phillips. Some of you heard that song.
There's a great film about him this weekend. Check it out.
Oh, that's right. That's a great film about him going to be shown this weekend.
All right,
Anyway,
so here's
this is-
a wonderful song
this is-
that was inspired for us to learn. We did not write it, from our dear friend, Sunny Oaks. She said, Terry, you really ought to sing this one. And
Yeah.
I'm really glad she said that.
Yeah, that was during an election campaign,
Where this phrase was
a few
used.
cycles ago.
Where this phrase was used.
Yeah, I think one of the candidates said this.
And what did he say exactly, Greg?
Well, he said something to the effect of, we may have come here in different ships, but we're in the same boat now, which is the chorus of this song.
So that's all you have to sing, except for we're also going to sing it in Spanish, which is...
Oh, let's just sing it.
All right, then. So those of you that speak Spanish out there, sing along with us as well. And if you don't, try anyway.
There are a few different ways of saying it in Spanish.
Yes.
We'll sing it the way that we learned it in this song.
Okay, here we go.
So this is called Same Boat Now.
Some of us came here for freedom from hunger and from hate. Some of us came here to make it rich, and some of us came here in chains. We landed in your sweatshops, or we died on your new frontier. We pulled the cotton from the land that we watered with our tears. We may have come here on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. We may have come here on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. Sing it with us. We may have come here on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. And as I know, hemos llegado en barcos diferentes. Estamos en el mismo bote ahora. Hemos llegado en barcos diferentes. Estamos en el mismo bote ahora. Some grew rich in toil and trade. Some grew rich in vice. Some grew rich in power, and all of us paid the price. And in the name of progress, how we burn each other down. But no one is the winner. We're building a bloody ground. We may have come here on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. We may have come here on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. Hemos llegado en barcos diferentes, estamos en el mismo bote ahora. Hemos llegado en barcos diferentes, estamos en el mismo bote ahora. Women of all color, from every walk of life, before the hidden burdens of mothers, daughters, and wives, hired when we're needed, sent home when the job runs down. But we're not waiting on the shore, we're turning the boat around. We may have come here on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. We may have come here on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. Hemos llegado en barcos diferentes, estamos en el mismo bote ahora. Hemos llegado en barcos diferentes, estamos en el mismo bote ahora. Born of many shores, our journeys all entwined, but we'll be on a sinking ship till we leave anybody behind. Don't wanna be no melting pot, we're a rainbow family. It's gonna take everything we got to set each other free. We may have come here on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. We may have come here on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. Hemos llegado en barcos diferentes, estamos en el mismo bote ahora. Hemos llegado en barcos diferentes, estamos en el mismo bote ahora. We may have come here on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. We may have come here on different ships, but we're in the same boat. We're in the same boat. We're in the same boat now. So, Greggy, you may want to move out of the dapple sunlight on your face. Just move back a tiny bit or something. We only have one more song, I think. No, two more songs for you all. And this one is one of my favorites of Cy Khan's that, he has too many wonderful songs that need to be sung all the time. But this has become one of our favorites of recent. And it's the story of the paper heart that was actually pinned on Joe Hill before his execution.
So Joe Hill was executed by the state of Utah. He left instructions, and particularly for fellow workers in the union, Big Bill Haywood, he wrote to Big Bill and said make sure it's only 100 miles from here to the state line. Just make sure to get me out of here because I don't want to be caught dead in Utah, he said. And so they took his body back to Chicago, and his instructions were that he be cremated, and that the little pile of ashes should be divided up into 600 little portions and put in envelopes and mailed out to general membership branches of the IWW all around the world, with instructions that every single person should take them and do as they deemed appropriate, scatter the ashes wherever. So there, Joe Hill's burial place would be the entire world. A great idea, and that's exactly what happened, of course. And his ashes, some people have said that his ashes, some of them were still actually found floating around in the envelopes. In fact, there was a story told that several years ago that Billy Bragg apparently came across one and ate them. Which that was a little macabre, but there you are.
Most musicians were just carrying them around in their cases. But anyway,
So
let's sing the song because it is so prescient.
It's amazing. It's an amazing song. Typical of Cy, he brings the story to connecting it with other things. He alludes to Earl Robinson and Alfred Hayes' great song, I Dreamed I Saw Joe Hill Last Night. And he also mentions some of Joe's more famous, or you should say infamous, characters from his songs. So the song is called Paper Heart. There's a long, long line of people just trying to keep from crying. There's always someone dying, but today's just not the same. There's a man shot dead in Utah with a paper heart pinned on him, framed up without pardon. I guess you know his name. Oh, you say you saw him out last night, but I hear him every day in the voices of the people, in the songs they sing and play. They framed him up and they shot him down. This whole wide world's his burying ground, but the songs of the working people are his marking stone. If heaven is one big union, I know that's where I'll find him, playing cards with Big Bill Haywood, telling jokes with Mother Jones, Casey Jones and long-haired preachers, Mr. Block and Scissor Bill, sent to hell a-flying, my songs no one can kill. Oh, you say you saw him out last night, but I hear him every day in the voices of the people, in the songs they sing and play. They framed him up and they shot him down. This whole wide world's his burying ground, but the songs of the working people are his marking stone. There's a long, long line of people just trying to keep from crying. There's always someone dying, but today's just not the same. There's a man shot dead in Utah with a paper heart pinned on him, framed up without pardon. I guess you know his name. Oh, you say you saw him out last night, but I hear him every day in the voices of the people, in the songs they sing and play. They framed him up and they shot him down. This whole wide world's his burying ground, but the song
just want to thank you so much for taking the time to spend Labor Day weekend with us.
So this is the song that we wrote last year, and we're going to end off with this. This is our, well, we kept hearing about somebody wanting to build a wall around here, and we thought, well, you know, building bridges is a whole lot better. In fact, why don't we just build the world that we want to live in? And that's the gist of it. We wrote 5 verses. We only sang 3 of them. Most of the time we only sing 3 of them, but we put one of the verses back in for purposes of this particular performance.
Mostly because we are approaching time to vote. So get out the vote, folks, and get your friends and family out there too. Thanks a bunch for listening today to Magpie and their loquacious Labor Day show.
So the song is called Build the World, and it's got a chorus. Please sing along.
Build the world that we want to see, where we live in peace, from fear we're free. False borders fall, we'll join hand in hand, till the arc of justice touches every land. Build the world that we want to see, where we live in peace, from fear we're free. False borders fall, we'll join hand in hand, till the arc of justice touches every land. Where the people's will shall never fail to rout the tyrant and support the frail, seek the righteous path of honesty, to the high and haughty of low degree. Where every soul gets what they need, no one takes more by graft and creed. Work, wealth, joy, hardship we'll all share, and no one will yearn to be a billionaire. Build the world that we want to see, where we live in peace, from fear we're free. False borders fall, we'll join hand in hand, till the arc of justice touches every land. Where no vote suppressed, no dream deferred, and every person's voice is heard. Where rights remain uninterrupted, and elected ones stand uncorrupted. Where rule is not by stolen power, all can speak out and not cower. Where money can't defeat the choice made by the power of the people's voice. Build the world that we want to see, where we live in peace, from fear we're free. False borders fall, we'll join hand in hand, till the arc of justice touches every land. Compassion, all people live, and the noblest action is to forgive. With one another we seek accord, respect and dignity are restored. Where armies stand down everywhere, swords finally become plowshares. Tranquility will then increase, when weapons of war shall rust in peace. Build the world that we want to see, where we live in peace, from fear we're free. False borders fall, we'll join hand in hand, till the arc of justice touches every land. Thanks very much, folks.
Thanks for tuning in.
See you next time.